The message blinked on my phone as I sat in my office in downtown Seattle, overlooking the Puget Sound. It was from a number I didn't recognize. She's been seeing him for months. Ask her about the late meetings. My heart hammered against my ribs. I dismissed it as a prank, some sick joke. My wife, Alara, would never do that. We'd been together for 15 years, married for 10. We had built a life, a comfortable, loving life, or so I thought. I'm Torin, an architect. I design sustainable buildings, structures that blend with the environment, not clash against it. I pour my heart into every project, every line, every detail. Ilara is a landscape designer. We met at a conference, drawn together by our shared passion for creating beautiful, functional spaces. We were a perfect match, at least on paper. The next few days were a blur of paranoia and doubt. I started paying attention to Ilara's schedule, her phone calls, her behavior. She was always on her phone, texting someone, glancing at the screen and quickly turning it off when I entered the room. The late meeting started again. "Client emergency," she'd say, kissing me on the cheek before rushing out the door. I tried to shake off the feeling that something was wrong, but the seed of doubt had been planted and it was growing fast. One evening, Alara said she had to work late again. "It's the Peterson project," she explained. "They're demanding and I need to finalize the designs tonight." I nodded, trying to appear understanding. "Okay, honey, be careful." As soon as she left, I felt an overwhelming urge to check her computer. I know it was wrong, a violation of her privacy, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I needed to know the truth. Her laptop was in the living room, open on the coffee table. I hesitated for a moment, my hand hovering over the mouse. Then I took a deep breath and clicked on her email. I scrolled through her inbox, my eyes scanning the subject lines. Nothing. Then I clicked on the sent folder. My blood ran cold. There at the top of the list was an email to someone named Jasper. The subject line read, "Tonight." I clicked on the email, my hands shaking. "Jasper, I can't wait to see you tonight. The Peterson project is just an excuse. I'll meet you at the usual place. I'm counting down the minutes." The words hit me like a punch to the gut. Jasper. Who the hell was Jasper? I scrolled through the rest of the emails. There were dozens of them spanning several months, filled with intimate details and declarations of love. It was undeniable. Alara was having an affair. The world seemed to tilt on its axis. I felt like I was going to be sick. My wife, the woman I loved, the woman I trusted, was betraying me. I sat there for hours, rereading the emails, trying to make sense of it all. How could she do this to me? What had I done wrong? I replayed our entire relationship in my head, searching for clues, for signs that I had missed, but I found nothing. We were happy, or so I thought. When Alara finally came home, it was after midnight. I was sitting in the dark, waiting for her. She walked in, her face flushed, her hair slightly disheveled. "Torin, what are you doing up so late?" she asked, her voice a little too cheerful. I didn't say anything. I just stared at her. She walked over to me and tried to kiss me, but I turned my head away. "What's wrong?" she asked, her smile fading. I stood up and walked over to the coffee table. I picked up her laptop and handed it to her. "Read it," I said, my voice flat. She looked at me, confused. Then she opened the laptop and saw the email on the screen. Her face drained of color. "Torin, I can explain," she stammered. "Explain what, Alara? Explain how you've been lying to me for months. Explain how you've been sneaking around behind my back. Explain how you could betray me like this." My voice was rising, filled with anger and pain. "I don't know what to say," she whispered, tears welling up in her eyes. "Who is Jasper?" I demanded. He's just a friend," she said, her voice trembling. "A friend? Is that what you call someone you're having an affair with? Is that what you call someone you're telling you love?" She started to cry, her body shaking. "I'm so sorry, Torin. I never meant to hurt you." "But you did, Alara. You broke my heart. You shattered everything I thought we had." I turned away from her, unable to look at her any longer. "I need you to leave," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. "Torin, please don't do this," she pleaded. "I love you. I don't want to lose you." "You should have thought about that before you started sleeping with someone else," I said, my voice cold. She left that night, taking a suitcase filled with clothes and personal belongings. I watched her drive away, my heart aching with pain and betrayal. I spent the next few days in a fog, unable to eat, unable to sleep. I called my best friend Lewin and told him everything. He was shocked and angry. "I can't believe she would do that to you, Torin," he said. "You deserve so much better." Lewin came over and stayed with me for a few days, helping me get through the worst of it. He encouraged me to file for divorce and to start moving on with my life. "Don't let her destroy you, Torin," he said. "You're a good man and you deserve to be happy." I knew he was right, but it was hard to imagine ever being happy again. The pain was too raw, too intense. I hired a lawyer and started the divorce proceedings. Alara didn't contest it. She knew she was in the wrong. I tried to avoid her as much as possible, but we had to communicate about the division of assets and other legal matters. Every time I saw her, the pain would resurface, reminding me of her betrayal. One day, I received a call from a private investigator. "Mr. Torin, I have some information about your wife's affair," he said. "I think you should hear it." I met with him the next day at his office. He showed me a file filled with photographs and documents. "Jasper isn't who your wife thinks he is," the investigator said. "He's a con artist. He targets wealthy women, seduces them, and then drains their bank accounts." I stared at the photographs in disbelief. Jasper was a smooth talker, a charmer, a master manipulator. He had a long history of scamming women out of their money. "He's been doing this for years," the investigator said. "He's very good at it." I felt a surge of anger, not just at Alara, but at Jasper as well. He had preyed on her vulnerability, taken advantage of her trust. I decided to confront Alara with the information. I called her and asked her to meet me at a coffee shop. She arrived looking pale and drawn. "What is it, Torin?" she asked, her voice hesitant. I handed her the file. "Read it," I said. She opened the file and started to read. As she read, her face turned white. "This can't be true," she whispered. "It's true, Alara," I said. "Jasper is a con artist. He's been using you." She started to cry, her body shaking. "I can't believe it," she sobbed. "I was so stupid." "He's probably already drained your bank accounts," I said. "You need to check your finances immediately." She pulled out her phone and logged into her bank account. Her eyes widened in horror. "He took everything," she cried. "He emptied my accounts. I'm ruined." I felt a flicker of sympathy for her despite everything she had done. She had been a victim too, albeit a willing one. "I'm going to report him to the police," I said. "He needs to be stopped." I contacted the authorities and provided them with all the information I had. They launched an investigation and eventually apprehended Jasper. He was charged with fraud and sentenced to several years in prison. Alara lost everything. Her reputation was ruined, her finances were depleted, and her marriage was over. She moved back in with her parents and struggled to rebuild her life. I, on the other hand, started to heal. I focused on my work, my friends, and my family. I started dating again and eventually met someone new, a kind, intelligent, and honest woman named Isolde. We fell in love and built a new life together, a life based on trust and respect. I never forgot what Alara had done, but I learned to forgive her not for her sake but for my own. I realized that holding onto anger and resentment would only poison my own soul. Years later, I received a letter from Alara. She was living in another state, working as a waitress. She apologized for everything she had done and thanked me for reporting Jasper to the police. "I know I don't deserve your forgiveness, Torin," she wrote, "but I hope one day you can find it in your heart to forgive me." I read the letter and felt a sense of closure. I had moved on with my life, and so had she. The pain was gone, replaced by a sense of peace. The betrayal had scarred me, but it had also made me stronger. I had learned a valuable lesson about trust, forgiveness, and the importance of choosing the right partner. And I was grateful for the new life I had built, a life filled with love, happiness, and genuine connection.